So suck on that, you limp dick slut.
When we last left off, our intrepid adventurers of sorts, or our daring rogues by other capacities, had just visited a fabulous party, which had ended in a shooting and finally a chase through the space over a hive city, shooting down the vessel that had stolen the items that were being peddled at that very same party's auction. The group has absconded with a rather valuable artifact, sealed within a protected void coffer. Since retreating to your waiting vessel in orbit, you've a number of duties to attend to, but most importantly, as the captain has primarily addressed, you are almost certainly going to be probed over your theft of sorts. So we will join matters shortly after you had spent a little time going over the void coffer itself. Your engine seer Prime and his Aegis Masters had attended to the machine, and in the time determined both its function and a rough solution as to how they might get around it, with the help of the captain's more...
Is he breaking up for anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay. Smudges, you have slowly faded away and broken up more consistently.
Oh, great, my microphone's doing this shit again.
Mm-hmm. And also, you sound as though you've got a lisp.
I thought he always had that lisp.
Don't know where that's coming from, then. Okay, I guess I'll have to take it all from the top.
Not entirely.
Yes, entirely.
Okay.
Just move this back. Okay, so yes.
In the 41st millennium.
Yeah, we'll just start the entire game off, shall we? So yes, when we last left off, the crew had just attended a soiree on the surface of the subsector capital known as Constantine. This little party was for the auction of a valuable bit of scrapping.
What the fuck are you doing?
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Verana.
Rana, are you trying to dig through your desk?
No?
What the fuck was that noise then?
I mean, coughing.
It sounded like someone was either rustling through a desk or put their microphone right against the table as they scrape up some fucking coke. What the hell was it?
Scraping a line
No, that
together.
wasn't me.
Yeah.
I can totally see. Totally see it.
No, that wasn't me. I maybe just moved my chair up a bit, but that was about it.
Take 3. Oh, Jesus Christ, I will throttle you to death.
Is it just me, or is Verana's cam just completely purple and green?
Oh my god, what the fuck?
I don't have that. We're all good on my end. That's just Romulus's problem.
No, that's your...
Someone recently struck you a blow over the head, Astra, that has somehow thrown your view into us.
I have to refresh then.
Okay, and that
Man, is
break your
everything
camera for the
purple
camera.
for you?
Pink elephants on parade.
Alright, take 3.
They're here. They're there.
They're everywhere.
Do it again 147 times.
And now it's just off, but yeah. Fuck's sake.
I will have this done perfectly, damn it.
Is it working for Dave? Has the camera got the good
Dave-
view that we need?
Dave is fucking perfect. It's just you idiots.
You have no room to talk. Okay.
Alright, let's play a game, guys.
Take 5. When we last left off. Sorry, I just had
There's the intro quote.
just had to get that one out of my system.
Okay.
Take 6. When we last left off, the adventurers had been involved in a little soiree on the subsector capital known as Constantine. This fine how-do-you-do party was an auction for a rather valuable map piece. Unfortunately, the party was interrupted with a great spate of gunfire and an attempted heist on the object, which our intrepid rogues graciously repealed, defeated, and then promptly followed up with by absconding off with the stolen materials themselves. So, we joined the crew aboard their fine capital vessel, the rusting, ramshackle Malum Melodium. Most recently, the Engineer Prime and some of his fellow consorts of the machine cult had finished in gathering an understanding of the void coffer in which the map pieces were sealed, and the captain has made the decision to seek out a rare bit of archaic technology known as a bypass spike, which should be able to overload the void shield that protects the map pieces within its sealed chamber. But in the meantime, you have a great assortment of crew to collect from the planet's surface, crew in the form of multitudes of prisoners, well over 30,000 of them being taken from a deep mining facility.
Just a couple.
Mm-hmm. So yes, as we had last left off, there was also the matter of, during your escape, you had made off with a fractured data slate. Gathering the data from the data slate's crypts, you had learned of the location of a dead drop of a reward that was intended to be compensating the men who had initially attempted to steal the map pieces. The captain has ordered crew not to depart from the vessel, inflicting a curfew, given the uncertain situation of your... well, how you came by the map pieces, but he has agreed that you can assemble a small force to depart and secure the materials. So, we join the crew, as you all generally mingle and merge upon the ship's bridge, as matters are... well, you're in a lull between the more serious of matters. You expect in no time that the Rear Admiral will almost certainly be in contact, given the possible inclinations that you could have had towards thievery.
Yeah, we did run out there a bit, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't I
So-
talk to one of them? Or was
How
I
do you-
going to? Because I was concerned that they would see us as the culprits, seeing as we went out the door before the explosion and then left immediately after that in our ship.
You were intending to reach out to them, but the captain, I believe, had expressed that you were to just hold off for now and first and foremost arrange the transport of prisoners and everything else, and just let them come to you if they were actually going to seek the issue out.
Righto.
So, that would be a good place to pick things up, though, High Factorum, as I believe you would like to get matters underway. I'm sure you can talk out your plans with the captain and first officer, as well as the rest of the crew, when it comes to your duties.
For sure. Captain Vex. we left that shindig in a bit of a pace. Do you think it's possible that they could suspect us?
I'd say the chances are almost certain, but such as the risks that come with these kind of affairs, aren't they?
Yeah, but do you think we should head off these accusations at the pass, as it were?
Be far more of an admission of our guilt, though I have been thinking on the matters. So, their craft went down.
Aye, sir.
I'm thinking, if they come asking, all we have to say, we lost sight of the craft after we shot it down. We never recovered any void coffers from its base. Just pull the wool over their eyes and, you know, assume.
In that case, perhaps we shouldn't send any of our crew down to recover the dead drop, as that would incriminate us further. Then they could assume that the other fellas picked up the void coffer.
But who's going to collect that dead drop if not us? I mean, that's a very
risky
stockpile of thrones, and that gelt could certainly be put to good use.
I'm not one to say no to free money, Captain. I'm just telling you it's risky.
Well, we don't get anywhere in life without taking risks, do we?
Very true, very true.
Why don't you have my boy and you assemble together a team? Have him lead it, but obviously you get to briefing the men on matters of more unscrupulous nature. Send them down in just an unmarked harvester. Pick it up, bring it back. Should be done in less than a day.
Aye, sir, not a problem. Come along, Romulus, we got work to do. That is, if you're finished with us.
Well, I was going to say, make sure to speak with... Oh, what's his name? Vanderkamp. Make sure to speak with Vanderkamp. We need those prisoners aboard as soon as possible, and we've got a fleet of landers that can do it.
Aye, let him know we're coming.
Exactly. And, at least for him, make sure to do it on a secure channel, but let him know that we have got the map in our possession.
You want me to let him know, sir? Do you think he might dub us in
the arrangements of your deal?
True, true.
No. Vanderkamp would never drop us in it. The man's in enough rock shit as he is. But he's a good... There's an honor among thieves, is there not?
Aye.
We just have to prove that we're holding up our end of the bargain before he'll hold up his.
Absolutely, Captain. Well, I'll get to it.
Good man. So, which would you like to attend to first?
Well, I'd probably go up to Romulus and tell him that I've got this quick conversation to have first and get that under the way. And then we'll head off to the barracks or whatever we have.
I imagine you'd likely speak with some of the deck commanders, and what would be best is, I'm thinking, an acquisition test just to see if you can muster from the crew the equipment, talented men, and time to get a bit of a crack squad down there. I mean, you can definitely send out a squad of men without needing a check, but to get the best that you can actually send down there.
Aye, good idea. Right.
Or best.
Oh.
So are you going for the recovering the chest of
Recovering the
gelt?
dead drop, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, we will.
so for an acquisition test, you can obviously beef that up with commerce, but it is just done as your profit factor, which, if you remember, is about, let me just
28.
check. 28, there we go.
I knew something I was supposed to know.
Well, you are the high factorum. So it would be a plus 10 for this one. I've done the maths in the background, given the number of men that you'd need and the quality that you're actually aiming for. It would be a plus 10, but you can also obviously beef it with a commerce check.
Aye, I want to do me commerce.
Okay, then, go ahead. Every degree of success is an additional 2 profit factor for the test.
No modifier.
No modifier, just a flat commerce check.
Oh,
Ooh, that's great.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okie dokie. Let's see what you
God
get. Still no.
Not quite so bad.
Unfortunately, you really can't muster many funds within your already stretched payment of the crew. So you're not going to have much help beyond it, but you need to get under a 38 on your profit factor check to hopefully accrue the more talented men that you can.
1d100. Yay!
Ooh, beautiful! Just 2 below. So, it stretches the limits of your friendly demeanor and interactions with the crew. I mean, you've known them for long enough, but at this point, they're a little
People
wary of
love
your
me.
adventures. So, you do eventually manage to get together a small team of armsmen, and you can brief them on the matter with a simple common law underworld test to try and give them some heads up on what they're going into, what they need to do, and that will help Romulus with the eventual ordering and command of their short little mission.
Siphon law or logic test. Well, I can spend a fate point and automatically succeed. Do you reckon it's worth it, guys?
How many fame points do you have?
I have 3 left.
3.
Given that you've got negotiations coming up, it might be good to keep a stockpile of...
Let's give it a go. Any modifier on this underworld test?
Given the situation, I am going to say it would probably be a challenging +0. So, no. No modifier.
Oh, god damn.
Ouch. So, you give them best briefing that you can, but really, in your experience with the underworld, recovering dead drops for mercenary forces isn't really your line of expertise. So you mostly give them the heads up on what they need to look out for, but these are hardened men who've served on this ship for better part of their entire lives. They know what to really expect in matters such as this, and there's not much that you can truly offer them to teach them.
Aye. Be cool and keep your eyes open.
Essentially. Which means that Romulus,
Yes.
as the captain's acting first officer and his hand in these matters, you will need to make a command test to help direct these men on their mission as it goes forth. Obviously, there's going to be better part of a day, you'd expect, to actually get it underway with prepping them, equipping them, and launching the ship. But it all boils down to just a command test as you delineate actions to your underlings. Because these are some good quality crew, thanks to Decca's swarthy commerce, though not exactly briefed the best, you have got a flat +10 on the command check. However, I would note, so at this point, guys, I've just realized, Decca, I don't think it's going to affect you given the test you've made there, but keep in mind the systems of your starship. For example, your vessel has a hololithic display tank and eyes everywhere thanks to its Bridge of Antiquity, which adds a +10 to command tests or social skill tests you make while you're on the bridge.
Okay.
So commanding from up on the bridge, obviously, you will have a +10 flat. There are other ones that you might want to look for. I don't think there's any more that affect... no, the only one that would really affect it is the Melodium, which isn't currently active or in use. So I believe that is everything you need. So that would just be a total of a +20.
Okay. Am I able to apply the +5 for being first officer? In which +5 on all command tests, and then I've got another +10 from talented, so that is +35.
Yes. And in turn, I would like you all... Ooh, very nice success. So I would like you all to remember that your various ranks on the vessel do give you special bonuses. Decca, yours is a very useful one in the fact that as matters go ahead with the endeavor that you're currently embarked on, you can take achievement points from one objective and place them into other portions of the objective or other endeavors, allowing you to essentially just transfer funds or gains from one to another. I think it's up to 300 achievement points, which could be the difference between a success or a failure when matters come to it.
Right.
There's also, I think, the Engine Seer gives a +10 bonus on all repair tests. And I believe I can't remember the Astropath one off the top of my head.
But
Or the Master Helm.
got one.
But yes, I'll get back to you on those ones in our break. But yes, so, Romulus, you begin and set these men off on their perilous little mission. Okay, so, before long, they board up on their small, unmarked cargo vessel, and with a little bit of help from Decker and the ship's master with arranging a single launch of a ship, the thing is streaking through the atmosphere once more back towards the planet's surface to hastily collect that dead drop. You expect a report within a few hours, possibly about a fraction of time, but in the meantime, Decker, you had other matters to attend to.
Aye. Off to talk to... Oh, I've forgotten his name already.
Vanderkamp.
Vanderkamp.
Hi,
And he
Governor.
was like the hunter in Jumanji.
Mm.
Vanderha!
So yes, you're out to seek Vanderkamp, the
Indeed.
corpulent hive master. Now, it is easy enough to gather a communique with Vanderkamp, and honestly, when it comes down to it, it's just going to be a nice and simple +40 commerce check, given the fact that you, I imagine, are just going to go out of your way to confirm with him that you have possession of the material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh God!
That's an extra degree, though. It's 1.4.
But with that, that is a success. And fortunately, you begin the steady and slow process of deploying these ships, a swarm of cargo craft to the planet's surface below to collect your prize. One of the millions of vessels that plunge in and out of the atmosphere. Though in this case, you are feasting off the rotting carcass of a capital world below you, rather than feeding the maggots that crawl across it. So, just give me a second. My computer's having a bit of a hard time. Okay. Can I still be heard?
Yep.
Okay. Just fuck this computer sometimes. Anyhow, with all being said, we are going to then. Oh right, yes. Okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought completely there because my computer informed me that Skype is now not allowed to use my graphics hardware. Thanks. I didn't realize it was. Grand.
Yeah, Roll20 uses it.
Yeah, but this is Skype.
Oh.
So, as things go ahead, matters seem to be going and proceeding ahead quite nicely. You have made arrangements, but unfortunately, perfection and ease doesn't quite last forever, and it's not long before the ship's master steps back onto the bridge with a haze of sweat on his brow.
Gosh darn it.
Uriel Morley, the ship's master, exclaims, Captain, there's armsmen on the deck. They're not letting the rest of the men back aboard. I think it... Well, I think you can guess who it is. Aye, I can. Master of the Vox? Aye, Lord Captain, you've had a request to open all Vox channels for the Rear Admiral's communique. I trust that you'd like to accept? I hold it for now. Decker, Romulus, all of you, be so kind as to take this for me. I have an idea, first and foremost. I'm going to see about loading our void coffer onto the savior pod. That way, if things do come from push to shove, we can just get it away from the ship where we need it to. As far as things go, though, Decker, you know what my suggestion was. And keep me informed, yes?
What? Deny everything, boss?
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And Lord Captain, if it does come to pushing, how long do you think it will take to get it into the savior pod?
It shouldn't take too long. Just stall him for minutes at best. He'd have to search his way all the way up the entire ship, and I don't want his men aboard my vessel in the first place. They don't get to go poking around in my bitch. Only I do. So, just stall him.
Sir.
And then, if he wants to search the ship, push back.
All right. I'll see what I can do, sir.
Excellent. A few seconds later, the Master of the Vox begins to pass through the necessary information. This comes swiftly with a crackling image on the Vox relay, and after a few seconds, a staticky and broken up communique finally reaches you. Lord Captain read me. Lord Captain Zakar, do you hear this? Captain Solari, do you read me? I said,
Lord Admiral, good to hear from you. You're breaking up a little, though. Can you make your connection stronger?
Apologies. I've reached you.
Yes. Good evening. Sorry we had to leave your party so fast. We were trying to apprehend those blackguards.
I see. I was just about to ask about the unfortunate events that had transpired at my party. And you say you were hunting for those who had at such a timely manner made off with the evening's prize.
The ones who gunned down the winner right in front of you, sir. Yes.
Yes, I am well aware of what happened.
How is he doing anyway? So, to interject.
You notice that the gentleman on the screen is a little pale. Looks like he's even this many hours after the event, he seems to have been just a little shaken up by it. But regardless. The Lord Captain is in a stable condition. He has been handed over to the Medicaid. Though it's...
Alive. Incredible.
Expected?
Well, this is to the extent where he is held in... This is beyond the point. I am to believe that, well, after the theft occurred, I have no other routes to point to than yourselves for those who could have made off with it. My men were able to uncover a crash site, which we believe is to have been the location.
Oh, you found it. Good. We thought we'd shot them down, but we lost them. Couldn't find the crash site.
Would you like to make a deceive check there?
Yep. I'm gonna spend a fate point to get a +10.
Okay, you've got a
Because I think I'm
flat
gonna
+10 on
need it.
top of that.
Come on. It's a 50% chance. There we go.
Hey!
There we go.
Am I to believe you were responsible for downing that craft?
Well, we put some holes in her, and then we saw her streaming down towards the city. Lost her.
I
We
see.
thought she'd made it away.
And you are then not in possession of the void coffer.
Not at all.
Then I don't imagine you would be too untoward regarding a search of your vessel, just to be sure. My armsmen are on deck in the dockyards, you see.
Oh, come now, Lord Admiral. You know what kind of business we're in. We can't be allowing just anyone aboard. It might ruin the relationships, you understand?
What kind of business you're in? I do hope whatever business you're involved in falls well within the laws and purviews of the Lex Imperialis, as you shouldn't want a
Of course.
thorough search of your vessel.
Lord Admiral, if I may interject, this search, you do realise the size of our vessel. How do you...
And I well know the... Pardon me. Go on.
I'm more than willing to show you through our cargo, and not only that, but also all of our... showing you essentially all of our equipment on deck. But how do you intend to carry out such a search? It's a lot of ground to cover.
And I do not doubt the skills of my armsmen. I trust they should be able to search a vessel like yours in just a short number of days. You have no reason to be departing port early, do you?
None, as far as I'm aware.
Shut up.
Exactly. So you would be happy to submit to a thorough search by Imperial authorities.
Unfortunately, Romulus is new to our crew and is unknowing of the rendezvous that we are hoping to make. It would be incredibly difficult for us to make our rendezvous if you were to hold us here any longer. We may lose out on this deal.
And what deal would that be?
My character would know how to bullshit something, so what can I roll for that?
I imagine in this case that would probably be a blather check, but you don't have blather. So that's going to be a deceive check, but it's going to be a little more difficult at a -10. So it'd be a +0 flat there with a deceive check to try and searching the vessel.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed, guys.
With a sly tongue, you propose that instead, rather than submitting to a full search of the vessel, that you will simply provide him, to save both of you time, a full cargo listing from your vessel. After all, your scribes are dutiful and work very hard to keep a track of everything that comes in and out of the ship.
Absolutely.
The Admiral's, well, the Rear Admiral doesn't seem to be quite buying it, though. And he still is pressing for a search as he continues.
While I trust the abilities of your scribes, parchment is easy to edit and write over. I would at least appreciate the opportunity to have my men scour your cargo holds for anything of illicit. value. I trust that your vessel is very, very well kept, and you have nothing on board it that should be untowards, but it's just for mine and the Arbitrae's concern that... I mean, this was a very valuable object, you see, and we really have no other leads to follow. Your vessel and your crew were the only ones seen fleeing the scene, and unless this is some outside influence, then we really have only our hands to point towards to you.
I understand, Lord Admiral, and for the sake of our friendship with you, I think it's only fair that we submit to a
Decker?
search of our cargo holds.
Excuse me, Lord Admiral. Can I have just a moment with our crew?
Oh, there you are, Solarius. If you insist, I'll give you 5 minutes.
What's
Decker?
wrong, Captain? Yeah, what?
We had... Look here.
I know you didn't want any search at all, but the thing's not down in the cargo holds, is it?
No, but many other things are. Do you think every trade we've done really falls within the purview of the Arbitraes? I don't want to be stuck here for 5 days while they haul every bit of illicit substance out of our cargo bays. I mean, there's 2 kilometers of open space filled with practically nothing but illegal substances and ill-gotten gains over the past year, Decker. I know we can bluff much of them, but we can't let him aboard our ship. Look, you've seen the man, you've met him. He doesn't have any weight to push back on you. Push back at him. Tell him that you're not going to let any men aboard your ship. We're getting prisoners, aren't we?
Yeah.
Why don't you simply threaten to let them go onto the decks? I mean, we could sacrifice a bit of our crew to cause an uproar and then just depart in the meantime.
I didn't realise you were up for burning bridges, my lord.
Especially with the head about the
I'm in a spaceship, Decker. I don't really need bridges.
So fuck 'em, my lord.
If it needs be. I think just the threat should be enough to get him to back off from us, but if we have to, we have to. I'm a man of my word, after all. And my
right,
word
yeah, sir.
is just as reliable.
Captain,
Right,
again,
yeah.
he's still the head of Battlefleet Salis. I don't think he's someone we want to exactly have as an enemy.
He's retired,
Battlefleet
though,
Chalice.
isn't
Well, hardly retired, Decker. Battlefleet Chalice consists of maybe 3 cruisers at best. They're too thinly stretched to really pose us a threat. In the meantime, he relies on the Arbitraes and, well, other rogue